To you fresh. We present to you local and international newspaper headlines for the day with in-depth analysis from seasoned professionals. Start your day the right way on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info.
Well, a very good morning to you. Welcome. This is Nigeria Info, and we're here to bring you stories across the dailies today. The biggest stories about what's happening across the country, as reported by the papers this morning. I'm doing this with Gbolahan Olojede, who joins me on the show right now. Good morning.
Good morning, Wemimo. It's nice to be here.
Welcome to the show. I'm Wemimo Adewuni, like you heard it, and we're live on Facebook and YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. You can do a quick search and follow us and join the conversation there on Facebook and YouTube. You can also reach us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM. If you'd like to drop me your comment on WhatsApp, you can use the number 08095975805, 08095975805. Okay. Let's kick start with the stories. Wait. There's one I want to put first.
You found it.
I found it. Nigerian pilot is here. The Vanguard, The Guardian, Daily Trust, This Day, and The Nation, and the Daily Independent. Okay, the biggest story on the Nigerian pilot. We have a cure. Yes. Maurice Iwu, others announce potential cure for coronavirus. Want federal government support to translate compound into virus drug. Claim Iwu has been contacted by U.S. agency. Product must undergo a series of standard testing procedures. Health Minister, we know. Can we just get it started? On the Vanguard, coronavirus 58 under watch in Lagos. Ogun Italian is 70% stable. 19 cases in Lagos. 39 in Ogun being watched. NCDC. Index case not exhibiting more symptoms, says Mamora. Weak health system should worry Nigerians, doctors say. Sanwo-Olu summoned emergency meeting, says 2 foreigners test negative in Lagos. Chinese in Plateau also tests negative. That's from the federal government. The story is also here on the Daily Trust. It's the biggest story. Coronavirus, federal government searching for passengers on aircraft with Italian patients. I've been saying it on air since we got this patient. If you were on that flight, do you need anybody to look for you? Why don't you just come forward? If you were on a flight from Milan to Lagos on the 25th of February, why are you not turning up?
Incidentally, the typical people that will be on that flight are educated people.
Exactly where I'm.
So why should anybody need to be persuaded that you might even constitute a danger to your own family? Let's say you're so selfish you don't care about any of us.
Your family
about
members?
your family members.
Why do we need to start looking? And if you're listening right now, you're not a nice fellow. Please.
I mean, these are the realities.
Federal government searching for passengers on aircraft. I don't understand. Phone numbers of co-travelers unreachable.
Maybe did they give fake phone numbers? That's most unlikely because they weren't expecting this to happen.
Yeah, so they couldn't have planned to.
They probably either switch off the phone numbers or switch off the phones, or
they don't want to
change
be found.
theirs. They don't want to be found, essentially.
Contact list now over 100, says Lagos government. Iwu, others find cure. Importers count losses. We talked about this yesterday. Oh, you guys, Nigerians, hey. This day newspaper, coronavirus, Nigeria places Italy, Iran, South Korea, Japan on watch list. Yeah, I like that. Tracing 156 co-passengers of infected Italian. Cautions schools against forcing students to wear face masks. Are schools doing that?
It's not impossible. Some schools might start to do
that. One is overdue now.
Overdue day now. Overdue good day now.
Fire orders screening of passengers at motor parks. Wow. The Nation newspaper, COVID-19, 158 aboard plane with Italian can't be traced. Sanwo-Olu raises the alarm. Lagos schools for hand washing. New cases in Egypt, Algeria. We have discovered the cure, says Maurice Iwu. And the story is also here on the Daily Independent. Lagos releases over 100 contact lists. Yes, they should publish their names. Maybe we can help find them.
Okay, the ones that they couldn't find, right?
Yes.
I think it's fair enough to publish their names. We can help find them. You never know. You might know one or two when you say the list.
Just maybe. Oh, just maybe. Now that just sounds like, oh, yeah, my God. Yeah, just maybe. But please, if you were on that flight from Milan to Lagos, come on, people. Come on. Please show up. There's also a similar story here at the Vanguard. IMF, World Bank pledge assistance to COVID-19 affected member countries.
Well, on the discovery of a cure, that should not be. The process is already established. There are pathways to establishing the fact that this is a real cure and then going commercial on it as well. So the hope is that the federal government will take the necessary steps to support the process of whatever has been discovered
As quickly as possible.
There are other discoveries. There is a race to discovery.
Even the Israeli announced last week that they found something. Everyone is trying.
America has something they're also trying. Everybody is trying, and this is the usual way it all goes. So I hope that our cure will also be presented and tested as the other from other countries are also being put in the fall out there.
We hope so.
To the people who were on the aircraft and decided not to show up, I don't understand this. They are not likely to be village people who are no contact. Right? They are not likely to be stark illiterate who cannot, understand what is going on, the import of what they are doing. So this is more or less like sabotage. Honestly,
why do that?
Yes, and I think we should look at it. The government should treat this like a sabotage, because what could happen if all these people now become a source of infection to the country, and we have a major crisis on our hand? This is sabotage, and I believe this is the way government should view this, guys.
I would not disagree with you. I was just saying when I was going through the papers, I'm sorry, because I felt like if I found that person, I want to flog their bums. Like, what's wrong with you? What's the matter with you? Just come up, be tested, just save yourself. You'd
save others.
You'd even be saved. It's just 2% fatality rate. But if you do have the virus, anything could happen to you. You could die. But
it's just unimaginable.
I can't understand
that's
it.
the reality.
On WhatsApp, people are trying to explain to me why they're disappearing.
Why?
Let's hear this. Someone says the reason why the people in the plane won't come out is because some of them may be protecting their jobs that can be sacked.
Who will sack them? I don't think they can be sacked. I think they will just
for being sick. If they're sacked, they can go to court.
They will go to court.
In fact, because
they probably will get paid now for not doing anything. That's what will happen.
Absolutely.
Yes.
In fact, they'll become pets. Everybody is going to be, taking care of them. But come on. The government should deploy our technology to track the passenger via the airplane manifest, which would match their passport details while matching fingerprints with the Nigerian passport holder with the BVN database. I've thought about all the processes myself, but usually the passport they scan does not have your house address. The only way they can trace their house addresses is through their visa, and then you have to then go find.
It's a long process. It can be done, but it's a long process. And then because somebody who doesn't want to be discovered is at the end of that search, it simply will not be discovered. So by the time you finally narrow it down to where it should be, and you get there and it's not there, what are you going to do?
And they said their phone numbers are not reachable.
The phone number is not reachable. Its address is somewhere at whatever, and you get to that place. They said they've not seen him for 2 weeks.
See where our problem with not having good database and being able to track ourselves is leading us now, right?
Database will always be a problem, and I hope we just move fast on all the things we need to do with our database and regularize it.
I hope so. Let me go to Facebook and take some comments on this one. I'm getting more explanations here. Rafael Adegoke says they can be sacked because they are now a risk to other workers being infected with the coronavirus until medically cleared. No, they
cannot be sacked. If they are sacked, they should sue. See, most of these people are not illiterate, so their fare cannot be they can be sacked. If that is a fare, if you can afford a flight, you probably can afford to have a friend lawyer that you can speak with and say, can I be sacked?
If I'm sacked, what do I do?
What do I do? And you'll be advised. So it's not as if these people are the ordinary citizen on the road. They are not. They are not.
Shouldn't your life even be more important? First
your
of
life,
all,
one.
Your family members.
I can't fathom it because you want to be sacked. What if you are dead? Which is easier, to be sacked or to be dead?
please, if you're listening, now I'm just begging you with my nicest voice I can conjure, though I'm very mad at you. But please do turn up.
It is sabotage. They should be treated as saboteurs.
It's not nice. Oladimeji on Facebook says, we have a cure. Yay, dancing and praise God. Calm down, bro.
It doesn't work like that. Between the time you find a cure and the time that cure is available for commercial administration or even for testing on humans,
takes a while. Takes a while. Calm down. And we're not even sure the cure is a cure yet. So, Babatunde Ikomaniso says, hi, Wemimo, please, what's the title of the song you played this morning? Where? Why? No, I didn't play such a song. Maybe Chuma did. Kanye Adeleke says, if ready passengers on the same flight are not coming forward to get checked, then let's criminalize their action. Sincerely. Joy Forever says, is it difficult to get manifest from the Milan flight? Name should be published. Yeah, I think the name should be published. Yeah.
Those that cannot find, let's publish their names.
Yeah.
Let's even declare them wanted if possible.
Jeez, John now. Let's talk about other stories. Vanguard, fresh Kaduna killings, no negotiations with terrorists, bandits, says El Rufai, as Buhari vows to punish culprits. The story is the biggest one of the Daily Independent. Bandits massacre 51, burn houses.
It's probably the biggest since the beginning of this year.
Interestingly, I was watching the news while trying to change the cartoon channel yesterday. My son saw the TV. I was like, what's going on here? I said, well, they're up. Now, imagine having to explain
that to a child.
Banditry, terrorism. And the guy just stood in front of the TV with his mouth open. I had to just change. I had to just switch it. You know, it's really, really alarming. Bandits massacre 51, burn houses in Kaduna villages. El Rufai apologizes for failure to protect villagers. Again, Buhari condemns attack. Condemning. Gangsters kill village head, another in Zamfara. Oh my goodness, it's getting really out of hand. The nation, Kaduna villagers to Buhari, save us. We counted 51 bodies. El Rufai promises death for bandits. Presidency, government will sustain offensive against the bandits. It's also on this day newspaper. Buhari offers solace as bandits kill 51 in Kaduna. Says federal government would not allow reign of terror to subsist. El Rufai rules out amnesty, negotiations with gunmen. It's also on the Daily Trust. Kaduna killings, residents take refuge at IDP camps. Oh goodness. Kaduna killings, bandits cannot establish terror reign, says Buhari. Talking tough there. The Guardian newspaper, El Rufai apologizes for failure to provide security to Kaduna residents. It's also on the Nigerian pilot. El Rufai begs for forgiveness over killing in Kaduna. I think it's practically the first time I hear him beg for forgiveness.
That's El Rufai, right?
Yeah, El Rufai.
Yes, because that is purely accepting responsibility.
Yes, and I do applaud him for that.
I think that is in order. Yeah. But beyond this, one might think is an easy decision about whether to negotiate or not to negotiate. It's a complex situation.
Yeah.
If you negotiate, people will say, why are you negotiating with terrorists? You don't negotiate, the killings continue on the other side. And it's just a very horrible situation we have found ourselves. Now, my first warning is to other parts of the country that are still sane or that are not witnessing this kind of situations. They do not begin to happen overnight. There are events that precede the kind of situation that we have in Zamfara or in Kaduna and all that. And these are the things we must watch out for. Because now in those places, Katsina, for example, had some negotiations last year. The banditry issue went down. This year it has come back. Doesn't mean that the money that was, given to the bandits and the release of their people that was on, they are done with that. So they want a new one. When are we going to be able to draw the line if negotiation is what we continue to do? And in the midst of this are also very disheartening things about sending Boko Haram to schools abroad and all of that. These are not news that make the people happy.
And could this also further strengthen these bandits to say, I just could go ahead and do it?
At the end of the day, we'll do it. Then hands off at some point. I say we have repented. Maybe I end up in the UK.
After all, before they became
Dubai.
bandits, they had no jobs. Nobody was giving them any stipends. So they go into banditry or terrorism, drop their guns, and then you give them everything.
We have to be very careful about incentivizing acts that we want to stop. If you incentivize it, you are not sincerely committed to stopping it. That is the reality. Incentivizing it in the sense that I could commit it and go away with it. Incentivizing it that I could become reintegrated back into society without any punishment. Or I could even get sent abroad for further studies. That is an incentive for anybody to want to be a bandit or a Boko Haram member.
But the root of this problem, I've not seen us tackle it. While it's okay to talk tough, the president and the governor, but the issues around poverty. On the chit chat today, I just took it easy and asked people, how are you doing? And the feedback basically is worrisome. People standard of living is poor. Many people who are even graduate, multiple degrees, no jobs. Overall echoes around the country.
And that most of your calls were to Lagos or from Lagos.
Just Lagos.
Yes, and Lagos is one of the states with one of the highest. What's the other side of poverty? They don't have the poverty. They have one of the best numbers.
Poverty index.
Poverty index numbers. So you can now imagine if people in Lagos felt that way. How do people in those other places, how do they feel?
What do they go through?
What do they go through?
Guys, let me read your thoughts. Henry Adimakachi on YouTube says, good morning, great people in Nigeria. To me, I think if a given time is given to these people to show up and they don't show up, maybe their names and addresses should be published for everyone to see. That time should be now.
Yes.
Please, the risk. Henry, again, says good work. Thank you very much. Facebook, let's see this. Okay, let me go to WhatsApp. Oops. Bioye from Yaba says, please, the government should post their names everywhere possible. Why do we choose to do the wrong things even when it puts others at risk? Says Kilo de Go. I don't know. I don't know. Chika Agina from Marina says, a statement by El-Rufai that he cannot negotiate with the bandits is nothing but playing to the gallery. When the attack on Boko Haram intensified in northern Kaduna, he negotiated with them and even paid them to stop the killing. Now that the bandits are killing at will in southern Kaduna, he realized that he can't negotiate. Says what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
No, we shouldn't be saying anything that has to do with people's lives.
Let's
play politics with it, please.
Let's not play tennis with it, please. Igwe Victor, El-Rufai begging for forgiveness over the killing in Kaduna. Such a statement in civilized society is accompanied with a resignation. We will know how serious they are when they resign. You kill terrorists and you don't negotiate. America did not stop until Osama was killed. Those are the people that are
America
serious.
Negotiated. They still had a negotiation last week.
The president should take actions and not apologize and sending condolences. The government is not yet ready. Let's go to Twitter. Let's see. Okay, let's move on and see some other stories now. Let's talk about the elections and the reviews all over. And this is coming up on the full conversation from 8 a.m. Bayelsa Guba, Silva, Oshomole aided our victory. PDP, they're still recounting what happened with the Bayelsa. This is on the
they aided their victory.
I do not understand. Unless you open the paper.
I think they should just let
it lie. About Imo Guba review. Supreme Court adjourned still today, and our correspondents were there in Abuja yesterday and in Owerri, sampling both ends. They were joining the show at 8 o'clock. Let's have a feel of how people feel in Imo State. The tension must be high. And we'll also take it to Abuja to see the Supreme Court. We'll just give you all the feel.
It's going to be fun.
Oh, gosh.
It's going to be fun.
I can imagine how they feel. There's one interesting headline. I hope I don't skip it somewhere, but I guess someone is getting high blood pressure on this matter. Supreme Court adjourns. Here's Imo Guba ruling review today. That's from The Guardian. The story is also here in the Daily Trust. A similar one. Electoral Act reviews. Stringent punishment awaits offenders, says INEC. I like it where you all talk tough.
It's not just about talk.
But then when it's time to
act. It's to walk the talk when the time comes.
That's it. Again, Supreme Court adjourns EADOS judgment reversal application hearing from the This Day newspaper. INEC proposes 34 changes to Electoral Act. Lawmakers for retreat. Here on the front page of the Nation newspaper. Sacks Bayelsa APC running mate close to suicide. That's on the front page of the Nation newspaper.
Can you say that again?
Sacked Bayelsa APC running mate.
Okay.
Close to suicide.
Oh wow.
I mean, this is predictable.
And it's we shouldn't just take it as a joke.
Yeah, no, it's not a joke.
It could be a real mental health situation by virtue of the events of the last few weeks.
Interestingly, the day that judgment was given, I mean, on our WhatsApp group newsroom, we're all saying, everyone was saying, what state of mind would this man be in now? But we somehow just feel, well, it's
I think I even saw a picture of him literally crying somewhere. You know,
yeah.
head bowed. So it's not a joking matter.
No, it matters. You don't have to be politically aligned with him, but every life matters. Well, that independent Imo Guber, Ihedioha Uzodinma no fate today. Supreme Court adjourns Zamfara's to March 17. All of these reviews. Also here, Bayelsa Guber Silva Oshomole aided our victory, says PDP. Maybe they're talking about the clash between the party. That's from the Daily Independent newspaper.
Well, at least it's good. The Supreme Court is giving everybody the audience. So, Imo, Zamfara, I think Bayelsa has been dispatched. So let's see what happens today. I'm actually looking forward to a very nice discussion at the Supreme Court level, how they take all those issues that bothered all of us and address them. And then we can have a final position so that Imo can concentrate as well. That is also a very important part, because at the end of the day, what you have are two gladiators, and while this distraction is on, the state suffers.
Emmanuel here is asking me a question. I don't know the answer. Maybe you can help. Says, it's a lie. How can they claim they can't find all those in the flat with Italian man? Saying, I saw it be since. I don't know.
Why? If somebody, do you know how many square kilometers is Nigeria? So if somebody disappears there, how do you find him?
You really don't think they all live in Lagos now, do you?
Even if they're in Lagos, you can be hiding in Lagos and people can find you.
Yeah. Back to WhatsApp. The killings happening in the north is appalling and unthinkable. The spate of these killings does show the weakness and also expose the frailties of the Buhari-led government. We are just victims of an irresponsible government, says enough is enough. Iradia from Marina. Good morning, Wemimo. Here, Razak from Ikorodu. Coronavirus is like passing a death sentence on one.
It's
not
not
exactly.
It's not.
It isn't.
Mortality is still in the 3% range.
Yeah, even 2%.
Even
no,
2%.
No, it's
Meanwhile, the seasonal flu in America has over 6% mortality rate.
Yeah, no, it's
so
not.
what are we talking?
It's
What
not
is the
that
mortality
bad.
rate of Lassa fever?
How many people have died from Lassa fever? No, it's not actually.
It's not a death
if you
sentence.
just calm down, no, it's not. People recover if you get treatment early. We should also consider the environment this is coming from. Nigeria, I feel a man of thinking. I'm not supporting those passengers' actions, but our environment is not encouraging. Aurora from Mayabo says, Wolumo. Hishak from Ikoyi says, Nigerian government is making crime and criminality very lucrative by pardoning criminals and paying them. I'd like us to see this story before we go. Osun State, Daily Independent, Osun abolishes single school uniform, reverts to 6334 education system. Why do we keep going back and forth like this? I can't understand it.
I don't think there was enough consultation about that project when it was undertaken by the previous administration. And it has been a very sore point in that state.
Yes.
It almost cost the state the gubernatorial.
Yeah.
And people were still unhappy until this event. You need to see the jubilation. And it goes to say how much stakeholders engagement we need to have when making fundamental changes like this. You take girls' schools, you mix them with boys' schools, you give everybody the same uniform. Why would somebody do something like that?
How does that even affect the quality of education?
It's quite disruptive in a negative way.
Now, this idea, what the former governor introduced is the 4-5-3-4 system. That means 4 years in primary school, 5 years in junior or secondary school, 3 years in senior secondary school, and the 4. My question is, can a state do this within a country?
A state can do it.
Well, they did it, so
yes,
it means they could do it.
The state can do it. But maybe the question should now be, should we allow states to be able to do this? I would think yes. States should be able to figure out how best to structure their education. But then, oh my God, the problem is that we don't have an assembly that is an effective check over the executive at the state level. They're just like another ministry. That is the reality. Otherwise, when you have 20, whatever number member of assembly who are representing the people, they should be able to checkmate policies like this and ensure it doesn't see the light of the day.
Imagine all the schools in the state, all the students wearing the same uniform.
You don't know who is who, where
everyone.
are you? I can come from Oshogbo and be in Ilesha and you...
Just continue. Just enter the class and
sit down.
Guys, that's the show. Thank you all for joining. Again, when we come back from this break, we're taking you to Abuja to speak with our correspondent there. We'll give you a feel. That's why you should be on Facebook right now. Make sure you're following us so you can see what's happening at the Supreme Court this morning, where the judgment might be given if there's no other adjournment on the Imo Guber elections. I've spoken to lawyers for hours yesterday and different opinions. Yeah, people saying, the Imo case is different. The Supreme Court should review. Others saying no. Should the Supreme Court even review its judgment at all? Should they be final once it's final, or are we turning the Supreme Court into an appeal court? Let's talk about that just after the break. Barrister Monday Ubani will be joining me for that. Gbolahan, thank you for coming in.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
Wemimo Adewuni back after this.